Greetings, Victory Seekers. We're back with a brand new episode of Onward with Onrie, and I'm your honorable host, Henri Kompan. This week, we're going to talk about the importance of positive reinforcement. We'll kick this off with a quote from Kevin Smith's book, Tough Shit. Where in it, he says, "It costs nothing to encourage an artist, and the potential benefits are staggering. A pat on the back to an artist now could one day result in your favorite film, or the cartoon you love to get stoned watching, or the song that saves your life. Discourage an artist, you get absolutely nothing in return, ever." The entertainment industry is rough. Lots of people put on fronts, and make no mistake about it, you will be discouraged on more than one occasion, which is why I believe that it is that much more important to encourage all of my fellow creators. That's not to say I have to necessarily like what they're doing. If someone presents me with something that may not be to my liking, I still try to find something positive to say. After all, just because I may or may not like it doesn't mean someone else won't. Positive reinforcement invigorates the soul. It molds you into something greater, and it literally costs you nothing. You can have your opinions, and you are welcome to express them, but I believe that if you have nothing nice to say, that it's better to remain silent, because it could come back to hit you in ways you can't anticipate. When someone shows you their portfolio, you should always give constructive feedback, but never discourage anyone from what they are doing by telling them that they suck and should quit. There are plenty of people already telling them that, and let's be honest, how would you feel if someone told you to quit what you were doing? If you look at an artist whose work needs improvement, give them a couple suggestions to think about and offer them to come back at a later point. Be a pillar of hope for them. You have absolutely everything to gain from it. Besides, you never know what your advice may do for them in the future. You also never know what your advice to them may do for you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Remember, it's not easy getting your work in front of someone else to critique. Always give people something to look forward to. I am of the firm belief that everyone has some special ability that they may or may not be aware of. Some artists may actually be stronger writers and vice versa without even knowing it. And let's say you're an artist, but your work is not professional quality yet. There's no reason why you shouldn't consider inking, coloring, or even lettering. All of these skills are integral to making comics, and you should always follow your instincts. Sure, the writer and artist always get the spotlight, but no comic is complete without the work of inkers, colorists, and letterers. And if you're good at it, you can make money doing it while refining skills in other areas such as writing and illustration. For a long time, comics carried the unfortunate public stigma that they are juvenile and not a real form of literature. And because that's the case, many people still have no idea how much work actually goes into it, and that it's not subjected to be compared to novels or magazines, because comics are their own damn thing. Are there juvenile comics? Sure. Just like there are juvenile books, movies, and music. But it's pure arrogance to pigeonhole an entire art form, to subjugate an entire medium based on a generalized, uneducated opinion is the epitome of ignorance, and it's a difficult thing to ignore. But remember the iron skin philosophy. All forms of thinking must be allowed to coexist, and just because some of those thoughts may be negative, does not mean that the world abides by it. It just simply exists. And because that's the case, the contributions of roles outside of drawing are often overlooked, and that of course includes the writing. Fortunately, comics today are perceived in a much more favorable light thanks to the success that we've seen on the big screen. Remember, all of that started with a group of people in small rooms putting together stories and ideas for a medium that has always been generally looked down upon. It took a long time for things to change, but the lesson here is that the moment you step into this field, the odds are already against you. Why make it hard for everyone else? By doing that, you're just making it all that much harder for yourself without even realizing it. There is enough room for everyone to succeed. Every field welcomes contributors who are hardworking and want to make things better. Rest assured, comics will always have a future so long as there are hungry and talented people out there who are willing to challenge the status quo and share their stories with the world. Case in point, my good friend Kitsune Windsor is currently running a Kickstarter campaign for his book, Foxy and Wolfie. Despite having severe physical limitations due to muscular dystrophy that have rendered him completely immobile, he has not stopped pursuing his passion. It's taken him the better part of a decade, but he's managed to put together a very beautiful book, and he deserves your support. Throw him a couple bucks and I guarantee you'll feel better for having done so, even if what he's doing isn't your thing. Last year at New York Comic-Con, I ran into a gentleman who came up to me and said that he had met me years ago at a different convention when he was just starting out. Apparently, I told him to keep doing what he was doing, and now he was tabling at that very show. He thanked me for helping him come full circle, and that made me feel great. It takes a lot of guts to be in comics for the long haul, and it is essential to surround yourself around people that make you feel great and want to work in this field. Tough days lie ahead, and the journey is always better when you have others who can help carry the burden. I learned the importance of positive reinforcement very early on in my career, and I have Stan Lee to thank for that. Stan could have easily brushed me off, and believe me, other big-name creators have. Not only did he write the foreword to the Yusenshin Warrior and Defender graphic novel, but he always motivated me to keep pushing forward, just as he did for countless other creators. And that brings this week's episode to a close. Remember, positive reinforcement. Don't be a dick. Go out there and be good to your fellow motherfuckers. See you folks next week with a brand new episode. Until then, onward to victory.